Kennedy's Corner. Master Podcast Pontificator.
And we are back. Here we are, another episode of Kennedy's Corner. And isn't it funny how award shows lately have just become so, I don't know, they just lost their flair. When it comes to the Grammys, the Junos, even the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, you have to sit and wonder what is really going on. As the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees have been announced, big shout out and congratulations to Iron Maiden, Phil Collins, Billy Idol, Oasis. I'm very happy that they are in, or will be soon in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I'm still disappointed that Nickelback, The Guess Who, and Bryan Adams have not been called yet. Okay, maybe Nickelback still a little too fresh, but Bryan Adams and The Guess Who, I think they've been eligible long enough. So, where do we start today on Kennedy's Corner? Well, you know, it's about post 30 days or so since the Junos. And, oh Juno, oh Canada, where do we start? Here we are, year after year, and yours truly always feels the need to share his thoughts on the Junos. Why do I express such criticism? The answer, my friends, is straightforward. We come from a nation that prides itself on being the best. Yet this is far from your best. So what went wrong? Here we are on Canada's biggest night in music history to celebrate the 55th annual Juno Awards. A night made to remember, or in this case, one we should forget. A night where we made that wrong turn at Albuquerque where we start off with the host, a comedic approach, which I thought would have been okay. This has potential, but from the sounds of it, the 55th annual Juno Award should have been your series finale. Mae Martin served as the host, and while I'm not particularly familiar with Mae's body of work, I found the performance to be underwhelming. Introducing political commentary during a show that should focus on entertainment feels misplaced. Such discussions are better suited for a different platform. The opening monologue did not resonate with me, as I believe the political issues should not overshadow musical performances. Criticizing other countries, particularly where Mae has lived and profited, only to then express relief at being home back in Canada where people understand you, raises questions about authenticity. Let me get this straight, Mae. You lived in the USA, made a career, money, and now you're happy to be back in Canada where people understand you. Really? And where have you been? Oh, Mae, to use your terminology, you are not for us. Let's talk about the host, shall we? Like I said, if I were to be in charge of choosing a host, given that the event was in Hamilton, we could have had Hamilton's own Nicole Arbor or Eric Bullwick Johnston, whom I know personally, and I could have provided his number. Other options could include Brent Butt, Russell Peters, Benny Bankus, Veronica Slowikowska, Lily Singh, Melissa DeMarco, and Jessica Holmes, to name a few. Alternatively, we could have considered Dan Aykroyd, Eugene Levy, Daniel Levy, Ryan Reynolds, or Rick Moranis. Now, as we gear up for an exciting evening, the spotlight will shine on some of Canada's most celebrated stars and bands, all coming together to honor the music of 2025. Anticipation builds as we prepare to see performances from icons like Justin Bieber, The Weeknd, Tate McRae, Nickelback, Drake, Shawn Mendes, Rush, The Guess Who, Triumph, The Tragically Hip, Neil Young, Bare Naked Ladies, Shania Twain, Alan Doyle, Bryan Adams, Celine Dion, and Maestro Fresh Wes, among others. However, a recent article from the Toronto Star, published on March 28, 2026, raises concerns about the Juno's ability to attract global talent. noting that nominees such as Bieber, McRae, and The Weeknd will be absent from the ceremony. This trend reflects a growing challenge for the Junos, reminiscent of struggles faced by the Grammys, which have also encountered difficulties in maintaining their relevance amid political messaging and controversies. Now, music industry expert Eric Alper mentioned the Grammys carry more prestige and bring more international attention to the red carpet. The Junos are seen as non-essential to global superstars, he quotes. He also goes on saying some of them are on tour, others are in the recording studio, some really need that downtime away from everyone, and others just don't see the point when they've already built a direct connection with their fans through social media. Alper suggests that there's a bigger consequence when Canadian celebrities do not attend this ceremony. He goes on and states, "It's a shared stage for all of us to celebrate what makes this country so great, and when major artists skip it, it's a loss of sense of national unity." He's bang on with this statement. If you take a Justin Bieber being at the ceremony as an example, the fact that he is just sitting there in the room will draw major attention to the event. But that's not the case anymore. In the beginning of their career, they will be there in attendance and possibly perform. But once you cross over to the USA, where the market is 10 times the Canadian one, your music is heard in louder decibels. And that's just the way it is. I believe it is time for the Junos to reevaluate their approach and embrace a more inclusive model that welcomes international artists. By adopting a format that of the Grammys with some thoughtful adjustments, the Junos could maintain their Canadian identity while expanding their reach. This could involve preserving categories exclusively for Canadian artists while also recognizing a diverse array of musical genres, including rock, hip-hop, country, R&B, and world music. By inviting talent from the United States, Europe, Australia, and beyond, the Junos will not only enhance their credibility, but also showcase their richness of global music. If the Junos aspire to be recognized as the premier music awards, they must demonstrate this ambition through a 3-hour show featuring dynamic hosts who are engaging, humorous, and relevant to today's audience. Rather than seeking budget-friendly options, it is essential to invest adequately in production to achieve the desired impact and results. The evening was a mix of highs and lows, punctuated by my own frustrations as I vented on the couch while my spouse endured my rants for a solid 2 hours. However, the ceremony kicked off on a high note with Rush's performance featuring their new drummer, Annika Niles, accompanied by a poignant video tribute to Neil Peart that left a lasting impression. While some of the performances felt reminiscent of a children's show with chaotic backdrops that lacked cohesion, I had hoped for a more polished presentation from Hamilton's own The Arkells. On a brighter note, Billy Talent's recognition with the Humanitarian Award was a commendable highlight, and Nelly Furtado's induction into the Canadian Music Hall of Fame was a joyous moment, especially as she shared this experience with her children, who sang along and embraced the celebration. Drake's heartfelt induction speech, delivered via satellite, added a touch of class to the event. Growing up listening to Nelly Furtado's music, I find solace in the performance of selected artists that helped elevate the Juno Awards musical segment, which had begun to falter. While I may not have been familiar with the artists that were performing at the Juno that night, and I know that not many of them will resonate with my personal taste, notably, country singer Cameron Whitcomb made a significant impact by winning 2 Juno Awards, including Breakthrough Artist of the Year and Best Country Album. The Beaches delivered a solid performance, showcasing their following and contributing positively into the music indie scene. The Lifetime Achievement Award presented to Joni Mitchell was well-deserved recognition of her influential career since 1964. And the tribute performance by Sarah McLachlan and Allison Russell was nothing short of outstanding, reinforcing the notion that honoring legends can truly evaluate the event. How do we make the Junos a successful event? I'm glad you asked, and I will tell you what I feel is the perfect solution. To ensure the Junos becomes a standout event, we must focus on the foundational elements that contribute to its success. A key aspect is the writing team. As every memorable show relies on strong scripts, I propose assembling a talented group that includes Daniel Levy, Eric Bullwhip Johnston, and Colin Jost from Saturday Night Live, whose combined expertise can elevate the event's humor and engagement. To create a truly unforgettable show, I would choose Dan Aykroyd as the main host, complemented by Canadian icons such as Rick Moranis, Martin Short, and Mike Myers for backstage interviews, presentations, or even red carpet coverage as stars arrive at the event. This approach will elevate the experience by engaging fans on a larger scale, including a pre-show segment to build excitement before the main event kicks off. To open the show, you need a rock band performance. Similar to having Rush open up the show, why not have Nickelback start it off? With their hard rock performance and pyrotechnics would be ideal to get the crowd roaring before the host comes and greets the crowd and welcomes everyone to what will be a wonderful evening. To move forward, focus on delivering performances, awards, and presentations that are both relevant and historically significant, while also being engaging and enjoyable. It's essential to abandon your current approach, and it has proven ineffective. The evidence is clear that it's not yielding the desired results, so a change is necessary. It's time to shift your focus from the CRTC and pay attention to us, serious rock talk, as we truly understand the essence of rock and music. Clearly, there seems to be a disconnect in your understanding of what this genre represents. Here's a list of Canadian and other nation artists you need to have at the Junos, considering it is in Winnipeg. Listen very carefully. This is crucial as there are a list of Canadian artists that will be able to draw an audience, and I also have a wish list of artists and bands. So, before I get to the serious stuff, let me get the wish list off my chest. Okay, wish list. Yes, I would like to see Miley Cyrus there. I would love to see Metallica. I would love to see the Dave Matthews Band. Adele would be really good. Teddy Swims, Youngblood, and the Red Hot Chili Peppers. So those are my wish lists, all right? Maybe throw in Motley Crue if you have the budget, but hey, it's CBC. They should have some money somewhere, right? Right. Okay, now, let's go with the actual list of Canadian bands that should be there for 2027 in Winnipeg, okay? It's gonna be in Winnipeg, so here we go. The Guess Who, Tom Cochrane and Red Rider, Crash Test Dummies, McMaster and James, Streetheart / Loverboy, because half and half kind of went to Loverboy. You got The Watchmen, Terry Jacks, Neil Young and Crazy Horse, Bryan Adams and the Dudes of Leisure, Rush, Triumph, Nickelback. You see where I'm going here? Tate McRae, Celine Dion, Corey Hart, Biff Naked, Jan Arden, Avril Lavigne, Our Lady Peace, Maestro Fresh West, Snow, Justin Bieber, Shawn Mendes, 5440, Alana Miles, Sloan, Blue Rodeo, The Sheepdogs, Drake, The Weeknd, Sarah McLachlan, Sass Jordan and Melissa Aufdermar, or in Quebec, Sass Jordan and Melissa Aufdermar, Terry Clark, Loud Luxury, and to top it off, T-Bone Terry and Cesar Ramirez's band called Ranimer's Band out of Montreal, Quebec. And that is the lineup, my friend. That is what I call a lineup because it's the CBC and public broadcasting. We do not need commercials. You could go 3 hours, bang on, do like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They don't have commercial. It's a 5-hour event. It's like torture, but what the hell? It's worth it. And you get your show cut. 3 hours. Just 3. Or if you're of Italian descent, tree. You do 3 hours and you're done. This is my proposal to you, to the Juno. So if whoever's in charge, Mr. Pierre Juno, if he's still around, you give me a call. email us at seriousrocktalk@gmail.com. And Dr. Clark, myself, and Stephen Wheeler will be more than happy to help you curate this amazing award show. So your 56th annual award show out of Winnipeg is gonna be a banger, but only if you follow my list and avoid the stuff that you had this year and probably some of the stuff of last year, because quite frankly, it's not impressing anybody. Certainly not me, and I don't care what anybody says, your ratings are down. You need serious rock talk, so here we are. All right, I am done. I appreciate you guys for being here for about 15 minutes to hear me rant. And here we are. I ranted about the Junos again. I hope that I don't have to rant about it next year, but I'm highly hopeful I'll be back again in 2027 with another Juno review. And I'm Ferris Kennedy, wishing you all farewell, and we will see you soon. Take care.